Good morning, students. Today I am here to proceed with the chapter 2 biological classification of class 11 under the unit 1. So yesterday we had a brief introduction about the chapter. We had talked about what's the need of the biological classification. Then we talked about the contribution of different scientists. Under that we discussed about the Aristotle, and then we discussed about the contribution of Linnaeus, and finally we had sum up with the contribution of R.H. Whittaker 5 kingdom classification. And under that 5 kingdom classification we had discussed about the Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Fine. So today we will be talking about our first kingdom, that is the Monera. Fine. So Monera, we will be talking about the Monera. So yesterday we have discussed about this. The Monera is the kingdom which contains only and only bacteria. The bacteria are the sole member of this kingdom. Fine. This is a very common term you have heard about, that bacterias. If we will talk about where the bacterias are present, I don't think so you can tell even a single place where the bacterias are not present. In entire the universe, there not even a single place there bacterias are not present. Fine. If I'm having a handful soil, in that handful soil there will be the thousands of bacterias are present. Fine. They are very microscopic, we cannot see with our naked eyes. Fine. So we will talk about their kingdom today. So what's their habitat? Then habitat, if we will talk about their habitat, they can found, as I told you, that each and every place they are present, whether it is hot springs, deserts, snow, deep oceans, each and every place across the earth, across the planet and across the universe they are present. Fine. They can they are dependent on either on the living organism, or they can also be the parasitic. Fine. Parasitic means they are present on the living organism for their nutrition. Fine. So further we will move with the classification according to their shapes. How we can classify the bacteria? The first classification can be according to their shape. Under that we can classify the bacteria in the 4 different categories. First one, cocci, second one, bacilli, third one, spirilla, and the fourth one, Vibrio. How? Here, if you will see, you can see here the structure. If the bacteria are round shape, that time they will be called as the cocci. When they are present in a rod shaped structure, that time those bacteria will be called as the bacilli. And when they are present in a spiral structure, that time they will call as the spirilla. In the spirillum form, you can see that on both the edges the flagellum is present over here. This is the flagellum. What's the function of flagellum? Flagellum makes the bacteria to motile. With the help of bacteria, with the help of flagellum, the bacteria can move. On both the edges, the flagellum is present. And the last form, when the bacteria is the comma-shaped structure, that time it is called as the Vibrio. Fine. So this is all about their structure and their shape. Fine. Then moving to their further information. Bacteria, you know that bacteria have a very simple structure, they will be having just cell wall and the genetic material, but they are very much complex in behavior, and bacteria, they show very extensive metabolic diversity among themselves, meaning to say that the bacteria, they are very, very microorganisms, very tiny organism, but still they show the extensive difference in their metabolic rate, metabolic activity. Fine. And then moving to their next feature, the bacteria can either be the autotrophic and they can also be the heterotrophic. I think you are familiar with both the terms. What is the autotrophic? Autotrophic means they can prepare their own food, means they are photosynthetic, and they can also be the heterotrophic. But majority of the bacteria will be the heterotrophic itself. Fine. It means they are dependent on the other organism for their nutrition. Fine. And the next category can be the chemosynthetic. Chemosynthetic means they are dependent on the other organisms or on the dead organisms. Fine. These are called the chemosynthetic. Fine. This is all about the bacteria and their classification based on their shapes. Now we will talk about the classification of bacteria according to their features. Under that, we have two major categories. First one is Archaebacteria and the second one is the Eubacteria. Fine. So Archaebacteria and Eubacteria, we will be talking about both of them in detail. Fine. First we will move with the Archaebacteria. Fine. Under that, we will first of all we will be talking about their habitat, their features, and what if they are benefited for the human welfare or not, and what are the harmful impact on the humans. So these things we will be talking about them. First of all, we will move with the Archaebacteria. Archaebacteria, they're present in a very harsh habitat. As I told you earlier that across the planet there is not even a single place where the bacteria cannot be found. So what is if we will see, if the bacteria are present in salty area, it means they are present in the oceans. You know that oceans have a very saline water. If they are present in the salty area, that time they are called as the halophiles. When they are present in the hot springs, that time they will be called as the thermoacidophiles. And when the bacteria are present in the gut of marshy areas, that time they will be called as the methogens. They are also present in the ruminant animals. Ruminant animals, you know that the cow, buffalo, goat, they are present in the gut of these ruminant animals, and they helpful in the production of the biogas. Fine. Because they are present in the gut of these ruminant animals, and they are very much helpful in the production of biogas from cow dung. Fine. And what other feature of that Archaebacteria? Excuse me. They have the different cell wall structure. Fine. How they are different from the Eubacteria? They have a different cell wall structure that make them to survive in a very extreme conditions. Fine. This cell wall structure make them different from the Eubacteria. Fine. So moving to the Eubacteria. Eubacteria, they are also called the true bacteria. Fine. They have also the cell wall. You know that in a previous class we talked about that most the bacteria are majority of the bacteria are prokaryotic. Prokaryotic means they are present of the cell wall. Fine. So they have a rigid cell wall. If they are motile means they can move. If they can move, definitely they will be having the flagellum. Fine. If you are taking the example of cyanobacteria, or you can say the blue-green algae. The blue-green algae, what do you mean by this word, the blue-green algae? Algae, you know that they have this thallus-like structures. Fine. And the green, if they are green in color, means they have the chlorophyll pigment, as like in the green plants. Green plants, they can prepare their own food because they can carry out the photosynthesis process. If they can carry out the photosynthesis process, means they are the photosynthetic bacteria. They can prepare their own food in the presence of sunlight and carbon dioxide with the help of chlorophyll present in them. Fine. Same way the blue-green algae can prepare their food as the plant, so that they are called as photosynthetic autotrophs. Fine. Moving to the next features, they are unicellular. Yeah, most of the bacteria are unicellular only. They are single cell organisms. Fine. They are present in the colonial form or the filamentous form. Colonial forms means they are present in the colonies in group. Fine. Or filamentous means they are present as a thread-like structures. Either they are colonial or the filamentous. Filamentous, they are surrounded by the gelatinous sheet. That gelatinous sheet gives support to them for the harsh conditions. They can also present in the fresh water and marine water, everywhere. Fine. Then if you have ever noticed that during the raining season in the stagnant water, if you have ever noticed, or any polluted water you have ever noticed, have you ever seen that the polluted water makes blooms over the surface of the polluted water. Have you ever thought of that? Why these blooms are formed? These blooms are formed in the water bodies due to the cyanobacteria only. Get it? And what else the cyanobacteria? What else the cyanobacteria do? The cyanobacteria, they are capable to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. And how they are capable to fix the nitrogen? In the previous classes you have definitely you have studied about the nitrogen cycle. Under the nitrogen cycle you have studied about how the atmospheric nitrogen get fixed into the soil, and then it is absorbed by the plant for their growth, and that thing is done by the cyanobacteria, this eubacteria. So how they can do this process? They can carry out this process. They can fix the atmospheric nitrogen with the help of the special cell present inside them, and that kind of special cells are called the heterocyst. These heterocysts helpful to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. And if we will talk about the example, the nostoc and the Anabaena, they both are the type of the bacteria which can fix the nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen. Fine. Then moving to the next type of chemosynthetic autotrophic. Chemosynthetic, what is the major role of the chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria? They can oxidize the various inorganic substances like nitrates, nitrites and ammonia. And what it help out? It release the energy for the ATP production. You know that the ATP is the energy currency. So when they oxidize the various inorganic substances like nitrates, nitrites and ammonia, they release the energy for the ATP production, and they are also helpful in the recycle of these nutrients, the nitrogen, phosphorus, iron and sulfur. Fine. So this is all about the chemosynthetic autotrophic. Now moving to the heterotrophic bacteria. As we know that these are the majority of the bacteria are the heterotrophic only. Then what are the properties, what are the features of the heterotrophic bacteria? They are, first of all, they are best decomposers. They can decompose the dead organism, they can decompose, they can make the part of the soil. Fine. Then second one, they have significant impact on the human welfare, means they can convert the milk to the curd. They also help in the antibody production. They also help in the nitrogen fixation. The same thing what we have talked about in the chemosynthetic autotroph. Then what can be the harmful effect of these bacteria? The bacteria, they can be the harmful pathogen. Pathogens means they create the disease for the human beings or the plants. Most of the disease like cholera, typhoid, tetanus, they are caused by the bacteria only, the heterotrophic bacteria. Fine. So if they are benefited for human welfare, they are also harmful for the humans. So now if we will talk about the reproduction in bacteria, the reproduction can be carried out by the fission process. Fissions means breaking out. Either it can be the binary fission or the multiple fission. When the bacteria get divided into the two cells, that time it is called as the binary fission. When it is divided into the many cells, that time it is called as the multiple fission. And what can be the other type? Under unfavorable condition, they can also reproduce by the spores. Fine. And the next one, they can also reproduce by adopting the primitive type of DNA transfers. If we will do the DNA transfer, that time also the reproduction can be carried out in the bacteria. So lastly, we will talk about the mycoplasma. They have the lack of cell wall. This is the exceptional. They have the lack of cell wall. And if we will talk about which one is the smallest living cell. So mycoplasma is the smallest living cell. Fine. They can survive without oxygen, means they carry out the aerobic respiration, and they are the pathogenic. Fine. Pathogenic means they create the disease for the human beings and the plants. Fine. So today, this is the end of the kingdom Monera. If you have any query, you can let me know. Thank you so much. Have a good day.